Jack in again!
Yeah, access the jack in.
Power up, Mega Man!
Cross fusion.
And that's pretty much all that happened. Alright, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, we're done. Anyway, we watched Axess.
NT Warrior Axess.
Yeah. The opening's just as bad.
I mean, the Japanese opening wasn't bad.
Well, probably because the Japanese opening in the original one had a real song too. But fuck that. For some reason, the first episode was in Japanese.
It got us really excited. We were thinking we'd get quality, and and then it went back to English.
Oh.
Just out of fucking nowhere. Like, we'll tease you a little bit, but then...
The first episode actually looked pretty fucking good, and we're like, oh wow, it's actually gonna look decent, but we're gonna have to deal with squeaky voice from both Lan and Mega Man. I don't know if I'm okay with that. And, yeah. That didn't last too fucking long. Instead, we got a recap of the first episode in English, which was really weird. Cross fusion is a thing. And,
yeah, so
you're gonna have to explain to me what the negative effects of cross fusion are from the games, because it never came up. And we're never gonna watch the other 3 seasons.
Did they say there was negative effects of cross fusion?
You said there are negative effects of cross fusion. You said there's a twist.
Oh yeah, no, the twist is unrelated to cross fusion, sort of.
Okay, I thought
I'll explain that off screen.
Alright, fine.
It's not quite related. It just puts cross fusion in a different light.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think we can all agree that one of the best parts of this entire fucking thing is the random, fuck, what are they called? Dimensional area generators popping out of random objects.
One of them pops out of a truck.
It's fucking incredible.
Or a van or something.
And I think they're powered by net navies, and we just don't talk about it.
Yeah, no. So at the beginning of this show, fucking Shade Man steals a whole bunch of data from Net City.
Like, just steals Net City. Like,
and he builds a castle out of it. Also, he steals a whole bunch of net navies, and we don't talk about where they go until halfway through, when it's revealed, by the way, they power the dimensional generators. The souls of the damned.
They're screaming.
So that like all the Darkloids can invade the real world and do miscellaneous bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's favorite Darkloids, like Savage Man, Flash Man. Flash Man had a lot of attacks. He had Flash Ball or Flash Nova or some shit like that.
It was
like Nova Light.
It was. Oh God, what was it?
Was it Nova Striker?
It was Flash Man. It was Neon Light.
Neon Light.
Neon Light. Neon Light. Neon Light.
That was his only move.
Oh, that was amazing.
He's like, watch me eat this dark chip and become stronger.
Neon Light.
It's just like, well, I mean, you do you, Flash Man.
And there was so much reused animation in this show. It was worse than the last one. I don't know how it got worse, but it got worse, and they took Dex away from us.
Dex got to be in a whopping 6 episodes,
and most of them were at the end.
Yeah,
they're awful.
At one point, he's working with World 3, like he's their busboy or whatever.
He's their protege, and they're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, they're like, hey.
He's a terrible help at the restaurant.
Don't worry, we've trained you in everything we know. You can do a program advance.
Totally. Well, no, he actually does.
Yeah.
It's kind of incredible.
Yeah, and go fight Lan in your business suit.
God, go fight Lan.
And then he shows up 12 episodes later, where he gets a Famicom out of the trash.
Yep.
And he's able to make Gutsman very large.
Just for no reason.
And then he disappears until the end of the show,
where he just appears. And,
they go to space.
It's fucking horrifying when he shows back up, because his eyes are fucking huge.
Dex got worse.
Somehow Dex got worse. But we still got some classic Dex, just dead-eyed, fucked up. They can't keep Dex on model. They just can't do it. The artists are incapable of keeping Dex on model.
You can't contain that amount of raw power.
It's it's just incredible. And but yeah, no, everyone got a taste of the garbage art in this show, and honestly, it was just so bad. Miss Mari's twin sister who lives in another town, which is code word for dying, because they finally explained that she was
on an airplane.
She was on an airplane, and it had an accident over the ocean. It got hit by a meteorite.
Don't worry, she got better.
Think about the incredible nonsense that is required for an airplane to get hit by a meteorite. Just let that sink in for a bit.
I think the thing is, the meteorite was also like a cyber meteorite.
Oh, it was totally like a Dr. Wily thing, because they dropped Dr. Wily's name, and we're never going to get a resolution.
They kept bringing up Duo, and Duo came in a meteor, essentially.
Oh my god. And they're like...
classic Mega Man.
And they're like... And Duo left 2 things to study humanity, and apparently what's-his-face was the villain was one of them.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I didn't want to get it, because it probably didn't make sense anyway.
No, it's fine. Anyway, like, the big overarching thing is Lan is now a secret police officer.
Yeah, which...
He's a net saver, and...
It stays secret for all of about 2 episodes.
Yeah, no, he's just like, I'm a net saver, here's my badge, and everyone's like, cool.
I'm a net saver. Man, it sure is great being a net saver. God, I love helping out people and being a net saver. He's just Ryuji. He's just Ryuji, and he can't shut his fucking mouth.
Then he goes around stealing everybody's net navi data, and then he just steals the Heavy Metal Man.
Just... absolutely, completely takes Heavy Metal Man. I mean, to be fair, Heavy Metal Man's weak to his own metal blades, so like... And not just weak. Metal Man in Mega Man 2 takes half of his health from... Like, that's more than any other Robot Master takes from their weakness.
It's fine.
It's amazing. So yeah, of course, like, as soon as he gave his data to Mega Man, he's like... I'm fucking dead. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, sorry, I got distracted. I saw sharks with a corn. What the fuck? Anyway, that's about the level of, like...
Speaking of sharks, Sharkman disappeared for the entire show as well.
God damn it!
Except for one episode.
One episode, Mesa shows up, and they're like, you don't know Captain Beef is Mesa?
And they're like, oh yeah, we gotta pretend that we don't know,
so
he won't feel bad.
Because Miss Mari doesn't know.
So they all dressed up as Captain Beef for the episode.
It was charming. It was nice to see Mesa back, but they wouldn't keep him, and it was sad.
Yeah, so it's really just a Villain of the Week show. I would love to go over some of the plot lines, but fuck if I remember any of them.
Was the damn one in this?
No,
it wasn't.
No, that was from the last one.
Fuck! Every memorable bullshit was from the first season. This season was just awful. There was Bubble Man. Bubble Man was a recurring villain. He tried to do something to... I think it was a dam. He was, like, flooding it, and...
He tried to cross-fuse with all his friends, and that didn't work.
Yeah,
nobody wants to cross-fuse with Bubble Man.
He made a giant sandcastle.
Made of ice.
Oh, right, it was made of ice.
Yeah.
I forgot. I thought it was made of sand.
No.
But, regardless, Bubble Man becomes a good guy at the very end.
Vaguely.
Vaguely. He gives them back... Because Bubble Man steals Rush, puts him in a bubble Pokeball, and Rush gets crucified and turned into a chip so that Shade Man can become a real boy and basically is Dracula. And it's a bad time, and he starts blowing up random shit, just going like, face me, Dr. whatever, I already forgot. Regal. Damn you, I'm blowing up your ship, I'm blowing up your plant.
I'm blowing up your town.
And then Dr. Regal shows up in the sky right before Shade Man's about to kill Lan. And then a giant dick comes out of the center of the city and a bunch of dimension dimensional area generators come out because previously Dr. Regal sent a bunch of UFOs into cyberspace and kidnapped 1 million net navies
all over the world, all over the net world,
all over, and put them into this fucking dick with tons of tiny dicks coming out of it, and
also we can make an AT field around the Earth.
Made an entire just all the world's the cyber world, and all it amounts to is giant laser mans.
Yeah.
Kaiju-sized laser man.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive.
God, Laser Man's the worst design. He's got this thing going on that's supposed to, like, mimic the chair that Regal sits in, but it just looks like he's constantly like, woo! And he's got his arms up in, like, a U.
Yeah, it's like he's going
closed.
down a water slide.
It's really dumb. And he's got these rainbow lights all over him, but it makes him look like Buzz Lightyear, but he's got Tron shit going on. He's like Gearfried the Iron Knight mixed with Tron shit, but he's got weird toes, and it looks like he's wearing a dress, but it's blocky, and he's got, like, this shitty, like, visor thing that's yellow, and he shoots laser beams out of his palms and out of his belly button, and I hate him! I hate Laser Man! And he'll just sometimes just shoot lasers out of everywhere, because fuck it. And he peels open a dimensional area, and it's, like, gooey, and it's so... I hate this show! Thank God it sucked, though, because at least there was something to point and laugh at.
Yeah, there was a whole plot line of Proto Man becoming Dark Proto Man.
Oh, Dark Proto Man was the best.
And so what they ended up doing was they made this fucking chip thing, and so when Land and Mega Man cross fuse, they can't use more chips.
Yes.
So they made this chip gate thing, and they gave it to Chad because he's now without a net navi.
So they're like, here's something to do, Chad. And we basically started joking that Chad basically is like, I have a new net navi. And he would start calling Land Proto Man, Neo Proto Man or whatever, or New Proto Man. And it's like, Chad, that thing doesn't mean you own me. You're Proto Man now.
Proto Man would never talk back to me.
Backhands him. It's the best side plot. It's the best thing we added to a show before, like, aside from, like, the whole KFC thing that transformed an entire movie. But this joke had staying power. It was really good.
Yeah.
And then there was the episode where they dress up as, like, disco people.
Yeah, Chad and Thunderman's net op are like, well, we gotta teach Lan a lesson because he's acting too big for his britches. And then they dress up fucking Thunderman, and they put like sunglasses and like a hood over him, like, well,
It'll do. Who could it be?
It's weird. He uses both thunder chips from range and then sword chips from melee. And there's 2 net ops. Weird.
And they talk with, like, they talk like that groovy sort of. They try, because Chad's voice actor changed in this, and he's just dead.
Yeah, no.
He just can't show emotion, and when he does, it's just bad. When he puts in the fucking dark chip to beat Shade Man.
Yeah, that's how we lost Proto Man. He put the dark chip in. He's like, yeah, this will probably be fine, right?
Well, it's like that's the only thing we can do because
it didn't even help.
It really didn't, because it took the spirit.
It took the double soul instead of the dark chip to make Shade Man go away.
Yeah. Oh my god. And so we had to deal with Dark Proto Man for most of the fucking show, and he got like a skunk tail. Or was that when he cross-fused? I can't remember.
I think that's when he cross-fused.
Damn it.
He just got wild hair when he
was god, remember when he cross-fused back into Dark Proto Man? Yeah. And he got sharp teeth? He's like,
he got a very toothy face. Like, his face was like
he turned into Venom.
His face was like 30% mouth.
Yeah, he's just turned into Venom, but a human. And he throws a dark spirit bomb, and then we go into the past where Chad is talking to Dark Proto-Man, and Dark Proto-Man blows up a memory of Chad as a child meeting Proto-Man.
No, it was real good.
Oh my god, and he like hugs him, and he's like, we're gonna save you, Proto-Man. And then they do, because it turns out that Mega Man's like getting a feel of Proto-Man, Dark Proto-Man.
He's absorbing his
Dark Proto-Man's chest and absorbing all his darkness. It's so dumb.
No, it was all great. I loved every bit of it. Especially the part where like Desert Man was there and whatnot.
Ah! Desert Man!
And like, what if we hit you with water? You can't move. He's like, what? No. I'm going in the floor now. I'm behind you. You remember the part where they just summoned a whole bunch of clones of all the Dark Lords and they all died in one hit?
Yeah, that happened. They were just that strong. Also, the fact that like most of the time anyone used a dark chip, they would just be like, "Rawr, I have the dark chip." And there'd be this big flashy thing, but nothing would change about them. And all that would happen is they would do the same fucking attack, but it would do more damage.
Neon
supposedly. You wouldn't even see more damage. They would just be like, "Oh no, his attack." They would just have to comment that the attacks got stronger because
they hurt a little bit more.
Because they couldn't animate anything different. And then, like one time, maybe something changed on someone and they started actually moving faster.
Yeah. Savage Man, when he ate like 3 chips at once.
Yeah,
he started using new moves.
He was kind of nutty.
Turned purple.
Yeah.
And then he died.
And then I remember Desert Man got like dark chip withdrawal and he was purplish, but then he got absorbed by what's his face.
Yeah, Flashman came and was like,
I'm gonna eat you.
And then he's like, shit, dark chips are bad. Whoops.
Oops. And then Shade Man was like, you've been fucking with me, Dr. Regal, even though I don't think he knows that he's Dr. Regal yet.
I can't believe you lied to me. And
damn
you were using me for real estate.
Dr. Regal's fucking absurd. Just all he did was sit in his chair and push a button. Until he appeared as Dr. Regal, but they're like, he's a good guy.
For like 5 seconds until we all realized, wait a minute, he's got the same kind of eye patch that the silhouette does, and then surprising no one, he was the bad guy.
Yeah, and he's got a secret satellite that's invisible, so they use a thing that was a callback to a previous episode, which involves Searchman, and it's where Mega Man and Searchman decided they were gonna bone, or we decided that they needed to bone because man, they gave each other the fuck me eyes. And
Mega Man kept blushing in front of him.
It was bad. Yeah.
Mega Man's like, "Oh, you're so hot."
Oh man.
And your gun is so big.
Oh, shove your gun up my ass. I'm sorry. Look.
No, it's fine.
Look.
One true pairing.
Look. Searchman is what got Mega Man into pegging, and that was good for Roll because she was into it. And so Roll was like, you know what? I'll let you have Searchman on the side. And because Mega Man and Roll were like all over each other, and yeah, there's all sorts of stuff we could just like ramble on about, but like this show was just,
it's mostly incoherent.
It was all over the place, and the filler, I don't even know what was filler because it was all about Dark Lords.
Almost all of it was filler.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it was all Dark Lords, and then you find out that like one random episode turned out to be important for finding the invisible satellite, and then it turns out that the one random character who had like the equivalent of a Chansey, but it was a net navi, and it died, and Chad let it die, even though he didn't want to let it die. And she was going to get revenge on him with a dark chip that was pretending to be a regular chip.
I snuck it into your deck. I hope you didn't notice.
Damn. And he's like, I knew this wasn't my chip. And I
don't have Dark Sword in my deck.
Do you remember when... I think Lan is like, do you want this back?
This is a highly dangerous dark chip. It's yours, right?
Yeah, do you want this back, Chad? And it's like,
No, he wasn't giving it to Chad. He was giving it to the girl.
Oh, the girl? Really? I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was really dumb, though. It was a really dumb scene.
And then she got abducted.
Yeah, just fucking kidnapped. And then she becomes Chad's, like, more or less girlfriend. She shows up with these shitty sandwiches. And then we find out that her shitty sandwiches are actually good. And Chad's like, this is dumb.
I mean, it's like a sausage with, like, ranch on it.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, Lan will eat anything, so it's fine. But, yeah, she works with Chad about finding the secret satellite, and it turns out she's got an amazing memory, which I made a joke about, like, way before, and it's just another point where we're, like, calling shit for the plot, because the plot's that stupid.
The plot was for babies.
Yes. And, yeah, so finally Dr. Regal makes the world cyber, and he turns into Giant Laser Man,
and then he gets defeated because the cries of the damned powered up Mega Man.
And he got a spirit bomb, but he absorbed the spirit bomb, and he was so fucking powerful, and he kicked the Laser Man, and it looked like garbage, and he blew him up. And yeah.
Everybody lived happily ever after, and definitely it wasn't 3 seasons after this.
And there was a giant comet for some reason. I don't know why, because the satellite got taken down. But we didn't even talk about Junk Data Man.
Yeah, Junk Data Man. They go to space one time, and he's up there collecting shit, and they gotta scold him because they're like, "Hey, you can't just be collecting people. That's wrong."
Yeah.
He's like. Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, anything that's for people I shouldn't take, but everything else, I'm build a giant castle.
And we're like, okay, well that's the one time Junk Data Man's gonna be here, and then
no, Junk Data Man will return when he gets shot by Dr. Regal and is like, oh no, my junk, and
not that kind of junk.
Yeah, but also yes. Also, Junk Data Man's fucking huge, and it's kind of incredible.
So he helps them sort of like... Well, he gets all this junk out of the way so they can go and they can go parlay with him.
Yeah, and then Regal sends his satellite coming down, and Junk Data Man uses all of his junk to shield them and builds a parachute at the literal last second, and it somehow saves them all. So Junk Data Man's at the bottom of the ocean, and we just don't talk about it.
And then he comes back at the end because he's just there.
Yeah, for reasons. He's a familiar face.
They get all the surviving net navies to fight viruses off in the background.
Because Searchman has to shoot a thing through a thing and hit a thing so that Lan's dad can do a thing that gets them to the thing, and then they shoot the sun while Mega Man shoots the giant Laser Man, and then they all blow up.
And everyone lived happily ever after.
And Lan wished for lifetime supply of curry. And we never resolved hearing about Dr. Wily again.
Yeah, let's just kind of bring up Dr. Wily. We didn't even resolve Base.
Yeah, and Base just like showed up. I think he did something with Junk Data Man?
No, did
or
he?
Something else? I don't remember.
I know that he built a tiny robot who was
so fucking weird, and he broke it like that episode.
He built a tiny robot that used a crane game to steal net navies that beat his high score in the arcade.
Yeah.
And then he forced them to fight each other, and then Base was just like, I didn't design you for this, die.
Yeah.
And then that was resolved.
Yeah. God, it was fucking weird. And, like, Base just, like, stands around and commentates on Shade Man and Dr. Regal fighting, which is nothing. Because
He's like, the strongest Dark Lord versus the strongest human.
Oh, my God. And then he, like, kind of just walks away from the ending, and, yeah, that just never gets resolved, because Wily is still alive, and Base still exists. And Base is a big fucking problem because he's like the remnants of Pharaoh Man who was defeated in like 4 episodes.
It's fine. I'm sure in the 3 seasons that exist after this,
something happens.
I'm sure something happens. It all comes together. We all go, wow, that was just awful. Anyway.
Yeah.
Want to throw numbers at this?
Oh
Since
my
we've spent like 25 minutes talking about it.
I can't believe we extended.
I can.
Yeah, well.
I can't believe they extended it for another 46 episodes.
Yeah. Plot.
Bad.
It was worse than the last one. I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, do that.
Characters.
Bad.
We didn't even talk about how they kept doing the famous joke. And we just... It got so bad that you started slapping your knee, and then I started, but I started so late that it stopped.
Yeah, so Lyon gets recruited by Mr. Famous, and he just calls him Mr. Famous or Famo or something like that.
Any joke name, and he's like, it's just Famous. And then eventually you started slapping...
Because you're like, that's a stupid fucking joke. Why do they keep saying it? And I'm like, well...
It's a knee slapper.
Yeah.
And I finally caught on, but like I think it only happened like twice before. I think it only happened like once or twice where we actually like knee slapped in unison, and then it was over, and it was so sad. But that doesn't contribute to characters because that was garbage. Anyway, the animation again somehow worse. We gave NT Warrior a 1. I think we have to give this a 0. It's not even that it was like. Because I think the only other one who got a 0 for animation might have been
X-Arm?
X-Arm, and it wasn't X-Arm levels, but it was just that bad. It was worse than the first season.
I mean, there were some cool like transformations, but even those didn't. Those weren't good.
They were clearly made to waste time. Like it wasn't.
I just meant like the sword transformations. Was like
okay, there were
those were unique most of the time because like. They used bubble sword and like shot out or like.
It had a tank on it. It was a water sword or whatever.
It's whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Hit it with a 0.
I'm definitely hitting with a 0
because it was on the overall worse.
Genre strength.
As a villain of the day or a villain of the week show, worse.
I'm hitting it with a 1. I don't care. The dub.
It was the same. Well,
yeah, it
actually, no, it was worse because
was
bad.
People got worse. I think we have to hit it with a -1 for all the changes.
Yeah, that's good.
Special mention. Dex wasn't here enough, so we don't get to hit him with a special mention. But I know what the special mention needs to be.
Is it New Proto Man?
Hell yeah, it is. Fucking Neo Proto Man. That was the best joke we had, and it kept going.
I mean, it fit. It was very nice.
I'll hit it with a 1. It'll cancel out the dub.
Cool. So was it 3 points?
Actually, I feel like we might have to hit this with 2 points because we were having a lot of fun with it.
True.
Dex was... I feel like it was Dex levels of a good joke.
Just a shame it took 20 episodes to get here.
That's 4 points, dude.
Woo! 4 out of...
You know 20. How much worse it is than NT Warrior? A whole fucking 5 points worse.
Nice.
That's incredible.
Nice.
Hang on. Where is X-Arm? I think we gave X-Arm a literal 0.
Yeah, I think it got bonus points for something, and then
I think we actually killed it as hard as we could. Hang on. Where the fuck is it?
It was like probably the 7th one down.
Yeah, X-Arm actually has a 0 because it had a 1 in plot because it existed, and we gave the intro a -1, so we give it a 0.
Nice.
Still, out of a possible like what 24 points it could possibly obtain. Yeah,
it's fine. It got, what, a 1/6 of the points?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Good. Quality show.
Very much. God, we need something quicker. This wasn't my best idea, but we were on a timeline, and it, like, had to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 months before these get deleted again, so it's whatever. We got it done.
We did.
Alright, we'll see you guys next time for something that's not Mega Man NT Warrior related.
Hopefully faster.
It will be.